Hello to our freaky family. I'm Michelle.
And I'm Kandi.
And this is Sips of Crime. Hello and happy Valentine's Day to all of our listeners.
Whoop, whoop.
Happy Valentine's Day, Kandi.
Happy Valentine's Day to you.
Thank you so very much. We do have some fun things for Valentine's Day, which is tomorrow. And do you guys have plans for Valentine's Day? You guys do anything special?
Not that no, not really.
We don't either.
Like, if we go out to eat or something like that, you know, do our normal, we don't have a child kind of thing.
Yeah.
But, like, we don't really have anything special planned. This is going to post after. So, I got Jordan a toolbox, and he has no idea.
Oh!
As of right now.
Right.
Of our recording date. So, it is like a big Macdo toolbox.
Does it go, on the back of his truck, or is it, one of the ones that you, push? Or
It's like a big wheel. His tools get on my freaking nerves.
Oh, I'm sure. So really the gift is kind of for you.
Yes. So when I need something, I can go get it.
Right.
I mean, y'all, I will ask him to do stuff, manly stuff.
But they always say in a minute.
Yes. Hold on, I'll get it done. We got I got tired of my paper towels sitting on the counter. Mm-hmm. So I just got one of the ones that you, hook to either...
the bottom of the cabinet.
Yes. All you had to do was screw in the freaking screws. That's it. You don't have to go do all this fancy shit. Now, the screws that came with it were too long. So I was like, hey, where are your screws at? And he's like, well, why do you need screws? And I'm like, why do you need to know why I need screws?
Yeah,
Just give me the screws.
Don't worry about why I need the screws.
Because, the paper towel holder we got, the screws are too long. They're going to come through the cabinet. And
we don't want that.
Blah, blah, blah. And he's like, well, I'll have to look for some. And I'm like, okay. Next day. Still have no screws. So I go looking about my own way. There's none. And then our neighbor, he's like, here's 2 short screws, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, thanks. 2 days later. The paper towel holder is still not up. I'm like, you know what? And so I bought him a whole, screwdriver set for Christmas, which he needed.
Sure.
It's very organized.
Yeah.
So I walk down there and I get this screwdriver and he's like, what you doing? I'm like, I'm putting on my paper towel holder.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
He's like, no, I'll do it. I'm like, no. He was like, do you want me to help you? I said, no, I don't need no help.
I asked you 3 days ago.
I don't need no help. And so I screw it in, and then I'm getting to the second one, and I have to put some oomph in it,
Yeah.
He's like, do you need some help? I said, no, I don't need no help.
No, don't ask me again.
So I got him this one.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's large.
Yeah, that's a really nice one.
Yeah. So,
he's gonna love that.
Well, if you don't, I will. But I'm going to have it delivered, but I have to figure out, because next week, I'm pretty sure it's supposed to rain 2 different days, which means he'll be home. So I've got to figure out when I can have it delivered and, just have it sitting there in the basement. So when he opens the door, it's just sitting there.
It's there.
But, he asked me what I wanted, and really, I just want to go eat tacos.
That's perfect. I love it.
I just want beer and tacos.
If I can have some beer and tacos, a little bit of bowling, and some Ferrero Rochers, good.
Yeah.
I'm
there
good.
You go. See, and
we're easy.
Right. So, no, we don't have anything super planned, y'all.
No, we don't either. It was actually really cute. A little boy at school is sweet on Dakota right now, and we've hung out with, and actually went to school with his parents. Mm-hmm. And so she texted me, and she said, because they've just hung out, as friends up until this point. But
right.
he's in her grade. And he's a sweetheart, just an absolute doll baby. And so his mom texted me and was like, are you guys going to be home in the next hour or so? Because, I'm not going to say his name, but wants to come over and ask Dakota to be his Valentine.
That is so stinking
And
cute.
I was like, oh my gosh, of course. And my child at that point was in her pajamas.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, we can't have this. If, she's got to at least be dressed.
Right.
So without trying to give away the surprise, we got her dressed and stuff. And whenever they all arrived, he had this big poster board that said, "Will you be my Valentine?" And it had boxes for her to check yes or no.
Oh, that's so cute. Like the little song, "Will you check
yes or no?" Yes, so cute. I loved it. And he brought her a little thing of roses. And it was just adorable. And she checked yes. And what I love so much is that he actually, like, asked her.
Right.
Like, asked her. And gave her the option to say no. You know, like, he put himself out there.
What will say about it?
He was a little upset. Not like, not like mad upset, but just like a little
upset that his daughter is growing up.
A little taken aback. But after, you know, like an hour or so, he was good. And like I said, we like this little boy. Yeah. Like, he really is super sweet.
I showed Jordan a picture. He said, I said, "Oh, what?" And he's like, he didn't ask her Uncle Jordan. I was like, I'm sure he didn't ask her daddy either, so it's fine. I was like, who are you?
They did get permission from Mom. And like I said, Dakota had the little boy asked consent. That's all I can ask for. He asked for consent, gave her the option to say no, respected her boundaries. I loved it.
That's so sweet.
I loved it. It was absolutely adorable. She was embarrassed as crap, though.
She didn't look like it in her picture.
Well, that was afterwards.
Okay.
That was after she ran away.
Oh, no, did she really? Poor boy. He probably just stood there like...
Well, he's super shy, too.
Oh, okay.
And so, like, his mom had to kind of coax him out of there. Mm-hmm. Like, into our home. Like, he had been over to our house before.
Right, but this is the bigger deal.
This was a bigger deal.
This doesn't come to play.
Exactly.
It's come to ask him for a
very important question.
Valentine.
Yes, it was adorable. But he's just an absolute sweetheart. And
that's so stinking cute.
Yeah, they're adorable. I do tell her that kissing is gross. So, I was
At
like...
her age, yes, I would.
I was like, you guys can hold hands. I was like, but kissing's gross, right? And she was like, yeah. So, let's just hope that sticks. Hopefully you guys have some fun Valentine's Day plans. If you guys need some wine recommendations, though, for your Valentine's Day events, whatever they may be, we have one for you. Kandi, what are we drinking?
This one is called No Curfew.
Which is very appropriate.
Yes, it is a red wine, because clearly when I was ordering wine, I was on a red wine kick.
You were on quite a red wine kick.
But it's okay. So at No Curfew, we believe that you should live life free of limitations. So we threw off all constraints when making this wine, sourcing only the best grapes from the great vineyards to make a wine worthy of your post-curfew adventures.
Cheers. That one's a hair sweeter than the last one we did.
It is. And I'm trying to... I like it. It's good. It's good. I feel like it does suck the moisture a little bit, which is what I don't like.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not enough for me to say I don't like it.
Okay. If we had to give it 0 out of 5 stars.
I would give it a 3.5.
A 3.5. I think I could get down with a 3.5.
I lean more towards a 3, but it's still good. Like, I would continue to drink it, so that's why I give it the half.
There's something about it that sets it apart from just your standard Merlot or Cab Sav. And I
don't like neither one of those.
I can't. No, you don't. And I can't put my finger exactly on what is setting it.
I guess I need to order some of those though and get me like an alternate.
This isn't bad though.
That's good.
Yes. We also have something else that we're going to try. So this is our featured wine for the episode. But we did have some stuff that we wanted to try maybe for your Valentine's Day get together if you're not into wine.
This one is a Moscow Mule in a can.
Yes, and that is actually one of my favorite cocktails.
It has grown to be one of mine because you had made one for me. It's been a few years.
It has been.
And it was summertime, and I fell in love with it.
They're so refreshing.
Ever since then, like, I fell in love with, like, ginger.
And that's another thing that I think I love so much about a mule is there's so many different variations for the cocktail that you can have. Like, you can have a flavored mule that is, like, peach and vanilla or, like, a berry flavor. Like, you can do just about anything with a Moscow Mule. But I also just love a regular, standard, across-the-board Moscow Mule. And I think that's what this one is supposed to be representing.
Yes, it is gluten-free. It's all natural. Its tasting notes say sweet and spicy ginger with hints of tart lime and tiny refreshing bubbles. Served chilled or over ice with a lime wedge. It is 13.1%.
Goodness gracious.
In this Red Bull looking size can.
Yeah, I was about to say it's about the size of a small Red Bull.
It's good. It's very gingery. If you don't like ginger, you're not going to like it.
That's more gingery than a standard Moscow Mule in a glass, like in like a copper.
I mean,
mug.
I like ginger, but I don't like it that much. Mm-hmm. But it's not bad.
It is extremely ginger forward, though. Like, you definitely get that ginger bite. They come in a 4-pack.
They're not bad, though. They're good.
We got them at Total Wine.
I didn't shake it up.
I don't think you're supposed to, sweetheart. It's carbonated.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say maybe if I shook it up.
I don't think that would have been a good idea.
I'm just trying to think of ways to make the ginger not so stout.
Check them out. Like I said, I've never been a huge fan of like the canned cocktails, but some of the ones that we've done are pretty good. And if you like ginger, if you like Moscow Mules, I think that this one will be just fine. So I'm going to tell you the story of Blanche Kiser Taylor Moore.
Oh.
So grab a glass.
Grab a friend.
And let's dive in. Blanche Taylor Moore was born Blanche Kiser on February 17th, 1933 to Flonnie. I'm going with Flonnie.
Like Bonnie. But
Flonnie.
Yeah, I would say Flonnie.
To Flonnie and Parker Davis Kiser, a mill worker, ordained Baptist minister, and womanizer. Her father was an alcoholic who, she said, later forced her into sex work to pay his gambling debts.
Oh, wow.
She married James Napoleon Taylor.
I thought you were going to say Napoleon Dynamite.
A veteran and furniture restorer at the age of 19 in May of 52. They would go on to have 2 children, 2 daughters, named Vanessa and Cindy, with an I, which is super cute. She took up a job as a cashier at a local Kroger in Burlington, North Carolina in 1954. By 1955, she had been promoted to head cashier, which was roughly the equivalent of a customer service manager today, and at the time was the highest job available to a female at Kroger.
Nice.
Yeah. Her husband, however, wasn't much better than her father. He was a heavy drinker and compulsive gambler who would often disappear for days on end, only to return empty-handed but full of excuses. This is them with their first daughter, Miss Vanessa.
Aww.
With her marriage in ruins, Blanche decided to try and reconcile with her father, but his health had deteriorated shortly after her return home in September of 1966, and he did pass away. Just 2 years later, after a nearly fatal heart attack, James decided to clean up his act. Blanche returned home to her husband and claims that things were quite happy, even describing him as, quote, the perfect husband and father, even though Blanche had been having an affair with her Kroger store manager, Raymond Reed.
Blanche.
In 1970, James's mother had fallen ill. Her name was Isla Taylor. Now, Blanche rushed to her side to make her as comfortable as possible while trying to nurse her back to health, but was unsuccessful. Isla passed away in November of 1970, and her death was recorded as natural causes. Just a few years later, James Taylor died on October 2nd, 1973, after a month-long hospital stay for symptoms that included diarrhea, swollen glands, sore throat, bloody stool, and painful blisters on his hands and feet. He passed away only hours after Blanche brought him some homemade ice cream. Now, after James's death, Raymond and Blanche started dating publicly when he left his wife. Unfortunately, by 85, the relationship had gone south, and she had started up another affair with the regional manager of Kroger this time. But that relationship didn't pan out either. So, she ended up filing a sexual harassment claim against Robert J. Hutton, who was the regional manager of Kroger at that time, which she won 2 years later to the sum of $275,000.
Oh my Lord.
Mm-hmm. That same year, her home in Burlington suspiciously caught fire and burned to the ground. She blamed a loitering pervert that she claimed to see lurking around her property. She collected the insurance money, went and bought a smaller trailer, which also suspiciously caught fire. Once again, blaming the pervert and collecting yet another insurance check. 1985 wasn't all horrible for our Blanche, though. On Easter Sunday of that same year, she met Reverend Dwight William Moore. Dwight was 51 at the time of their meeting, but in his early years, he studied at Elon University and graduated in 58 and was a pastor of the Carolina United Church of Christ. Now, Blanche was still dealing with her lawsuit against Kroger in 85, so she went and introduced herself to Dwight in hopes of getting some spiritual counseling during this difficult time, and counseling soon turned into casual meetings and meals together. Raymond, who had left his wife to be with Blanche, was getting a little anxious because he had expected to marry her, but after she had her hooks into Dwight, Raymond had just become another obstacle in her path. The next year, in 1986, Raymond came down with shingles and was hospitalized at Baptist Hospital in June. His symptoms included vomiting, bloody stools, and diarrhea, along with numbness in his hands and feet. Blanche was by his side the whole time and even helped him draw up a new will during this time.
Yeah, Well, I mean, she's with another man, so...
They're not married, either.
Oh, yeah.
The will named her and his two sons equal beneficiaries to his estate. When she came to visit, she would bring him homemade pudding and milkshakes. Despite her care and the doctor's best efforts, he did end up passing away October of 1985.
Maybe that's why they don't allow food in the hospital anymore.
I would assume that.
No outside food
or drinks. His cause of death was reported to be Guillain-Barré, which is a rare disorder in which your body's immune system attacks your nerves. Weakness and tingling in your hands and feet are usually the first symptoms. She collected about $75,000 from his estate. Reverend Dwight Moore escorted Blanche to Raymond's funeral.
Of course he did.
In 1987, Blanche had fallen ill herself. She underwent a mastectomy to rid her body of breast cancer, which was considered successful, and in 88, Dwight also had 2 surgeries to correct a blocked intestine. In 89, the 2 lovebirds finally tied the knot on April 21st. Unfortunately, 5 days later, Dwight collapsed after eating a pastry on the ferry of Cape May in New Jersey. Blanche decided it was best to drive him all the way back to Burlington, North Carolina, from Jersey, to care for him at their home. Yeah.
Why in the hell would you drive from Jersey to Burlington? And he collapsed.
Yep.
Lady.
Yep. So she didn't think that it was a good idea to take him to a hospital in Jersey for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
Blanche was obviously not doing a great job of caring for him because he was admitted to Almonds County Hospital on the 28th when he took a turn for the worst after eating some homemade soup. He was sent home with no diagnosis or cure, but was near death by the 30th. This time, they went to North Carolina Memorial Hospital, where a tox screen was issued, and the results were astonishing. Dwight's body contained 20 times the lethal dose of arsenic, which apparently is enough to kill a moose.
A moose!
A moose! And the most they had ever found in a body to that date. The police, of course, were called, and the investigation begun. They were quite surprised when they found out about Blanche's terrible luck over the years. Despite this...
Find out?
Yeah, everybody else had died from natural causes.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody.
Did they do a talk screen on all those other people?
They did not.
Mm-hmm.
Until Dwight. Despite this, despite her past, Dwight refused to believe that his new wife was poisoning him. In fact, he told the police that he must have inhaled it while spraying for bugs in their garden.
Is arsenic in bug spray?
I would assume so.
Let me Google it.
Hold, please. like so much arsenic and bug spray, isn't there?
Arsenic is used in making insecticides and weed killers. So you're telling me, oh my God, my husband should be wearing a mask.
Maybe you should tell him.
I'm going to when I get home.
Tell him that he needs to wear a mask.
I mean, he wears this big old pump thing and if y'all could see me, I'm over here pumping. This is why we need a video.
This is why we need a Patreon.
Pumping. We'll talk about it. Pumping, and he's like spraying. Like, he does like 80 plus yards.
Yeah.
Like, some of them are bi-weekly, like every 2 weeks, and some of them are every week. Like,
for those of you who don't know, her husband owns a landscaping company.
He does. I'm sorry. He does. He owns a landscaping company. He's very busy. Holy cow.
Tell him to wear a mask from now on of some kind.
What's the difference? How you got organic arsenic? How?
Is arsenic a naturally occurring...
You have organic and inorganic. How do you have organic arsenic?
Okay, now you have to look up...
Hold on a minute. Rabbit hole. Hold on. Arsenic is found in groundwater, many chemicals, and foods. If arsenic is in it...
Yeah, but where is it?
If arsenic is in the organic form, it is likely non-toxic or weakly toxic to humans.
Oh, okay.
The FDA made recommendations that less than 10 parts per billion of arsenic was acceptable for levels in apple juice.
Yeah, I remember the big stink about the apple juice and the arsenic. Okay, well that makes more sense then. So it's a metal. So they questioned Blanche anyway, despite Dwight refusing to believe this fact. They questioned her on June 6th, and during that questioning, she told the police that she had never brought Raymond any food from home, which is clearly contradicting to what the hospital had to say. So they ended up exhuming Raymond's body on June 13th, and lo and behold, arsenic was found in his body. They then decided they should exhume James's body as well, and the test results were the same. Smaller traces of arsenic were found in her father and mother-in-law's bodies as well, but the evidence was insufficient to support a murder charge for either. But she totally poisoned them too. Okay, so this is Blanche getting arrested, and she just, look at her little outfit with the little...
look at her little tie and her little smiley face.
I know, it's ridiculous. And she's got these big glasses.
Big old earrings, Jesus Christ. They're like as big as her ear hole. I mean, like her whole ear.
Very, very, very 80s style. Her trial opened in Winston-Salem on October 21st of 1990, but Blanche denied any wrongdoings. She even stated that both her current and ex-husband suffered from depression and were probably poisoning themselves.
I mean, that's a great argument there, Blanche, but there's still one major factor. You. So you
are the common denominator.
You caused them to be depressed.
It was also found out that while Raymond was in the hospital, a tox screen was ordered for him as well. But on the day the test came back, the resident responsible for caring for Raymond rotated to another hospital, and the new resident never passed the results up to the chain of command. So those results had shown an extremely high amount of arsenic in Reed's system as well. With 53 witnesses for the state who testified about her daily trips to the hospital bearing food, Blanche really didn't stand much of a chance, and she was convicted on November 14th. She was also charged with assault with a deadly weapon for poisoning Dwight. She was sentenced to death by lethal injection. She currently resides at the North Carolina Correctional Institution for Women. She's
still alive?
She is. She wrote music in the past and spends her time writing poetry. The cancer did come back, and she has undergone chemo and radiation while in prison. She's been on death row for over 31 years and maintains her innocence to this day. Reverend Dwight retired and remarried after this ordeal and passed away in January of 2013 as a very well-regarded and loved pastor to his community.
That's great.
And that is the story of Blanche Kiser Taylor Moore.
I'm right. How old is she right now?
Let's see. She was born in 1933.
She's almost 100 years old.
She's still alive.
She's 90. She's 90. Wonderful.
We have some things to lighten the mood for our Valentine's Day episode. Kandi, what do you have for me?
Okay. They're like funny, corny pickup lines and like little quotes that are like on cards or whatever.
Valentine's Day themed. What are we doing first?
Funny/corny pickup lines.
Okay.
Roses are red, violets are blue. I can't rhyme, but can I date you? Do you like Star Wars? Because Yoda only won for me. Are you my appendix? Because I have a funny feeling in my stomach that makes me feel like I should take you out.
Oh God, that's an awful one.
Do you work at a coffee house? Because I like you a latte.
I like that one. I love you a latte.
I was feeling a little off today, but you definitely turned me on.
Oh gosh.
I'm no Fred Flintstone, but I can make your bed rock.
I can make your bed rock. I can make your bed rock, girl. That is still to this day one of my favorite songs.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Anytime that comes on, I am like up and I'm dancing. I'm ready to go.
You may fall from the sky. You may fall from a tree. But the best way to fall is in love with me.
Aww. That one's cute.
Are you a bank loan? Because you've got my interest. Did you sit on a pile of sugar? Because you have a pretty nice ass.
Okay.
You're hotter than the bottom of my laptop. If you were a chicken, you would be impeccable.
God.
Is there a mirror in your pants? I think I see myself in them.
Oh, that one's awful.
You must be a keyboard because you're just my type.
I love it.
Magical watch says you aren't wearing any underwear.
What?
And then you say, I am.
I am.
Oh, it must be an hour fast.
Oh my God.
You're so hot, if you ate bread, you would poop out toast.
These are terrible.
I know.
I love it.
I'm new in
Keep
town.
going.
Can I? I'm new in town. Can I have directions to your house?
Okay, all of our listeners do not fall for that one. That one has serial
This
killer
one's
written
terrible.
all
This
over
one's
it.
So terrible. I wish you were my big toe because I would bang you on every furniture in my house. So bad. I think you're suffering from a back of. I think you're suffering from a back. I think you're suffering from a lack of vitamin me.
Ooh. Well, if any of you guys are going out on Valentine's Day, maybe you can take a page from our playbook and use one of those very intriguing pickup lines. Best of luck to you.
These are Valentine's Day funny quotes or things that were on cards.
Okay.
Like legit
Hallmark.
cards that you can, they might not be
happening.
Hallmark, but you can buy them. If you love them in the morning with their eyes full of crust, and if you love them at night with their hair full of rollers, chances are you're in love.
Oh, God, that was like 80s. Who sleeps in rollers anymore?
Never do. I was married by a judge. I should have asked for a jury. I'm gonna beat my pants. You may marry the man of your dreams, ladies, but 14 years later, you're married to a couch that burps.
Oh, gosh.
There are only 3 things women need in life: food, water, and compliments. I need tacos and wine.
I need tacos and wine.
Tacos and wine.
For sure.
Like, you can get me sushi, but... I mean, I love sushi, but... Give me some
Tacos and wine, I'm good to go.
You're never alone on Valentine's Day if you live near a lake and have some bread. Love is an exploding cigar that you willingly smoke.
That's on a card.
Yep.
Oh, that one's terrible.
Love is a fire. But whether it's going to warm your heart or burn down your house, you can never tell.
As has been proven in our podcast over and over and over again.
I love being married. It's so great to find that one special person you want to annoy for the rest of your life.
Yes, I support that one. I love it.
Love is blind. Marriage is the eye-opener.
It's the eye-opener.
Before you marry a person, you should first make them use a computer with really slow internet to see who they really are. A man's job is to protect his woman from her desire to get bangs every other month.
Ooh, yeah. I actually had that conversation with my husband.
What?
Yeah, I'm thinking about like the side swoopy bangs. I had them a long time ago.
Side swoopy bangs are different
side
than
swoopy
whole
bangs,
curtain bangs.
not curtain bangs. Side swoopy bangs. I had them a long time ago. I just feel like they make my hair look fuller.
Fuller, yes, I can get that, but I could not get down with you.
The card should be a Valentine's Day card and be like your best friend.
It should be.
Is there to talk you out of curtain bangs.
I love you more than coffee, but please don't make me prove it. What did one light bulb say to the other?
What?
I love you a whole lot.
A whole lot? I love it.
What did one pickle say to the other?
What?
You mean a great deal to me.
You mean a great deal to me.
Why didn't the skeleton want to send any Valentine's Day cards?
Because he didn't have any body to love.
That was cute, but no. His heart wasn't in it.
Oh!
That was cute, though. Last but not least, if he doesn't appreciate your fruit jokes, you need to let that man go.
The mango!
I hope you loved the corny Valentine's Day cards and jokes and pickup lines.
Those were hilarious. I love it so much.
There was a ton.
All right, you guys. Well, happy Valentine's Day from Sips of Crime. We love you guys so much. You are all our Valentines.
Yes.
Like, legitimately. You are all our Valentines.
Freaky family, Valentines.
For sure. I love it so much. I hope you guys have a fantastic holiday, and we will see you in 2 weeks.
Whoop whoop.
Bye.
Bye.
You can join our Freaky family both on Instagram and Facebook and find all of the featured photos from this episode at Sips of Crime.
Check out our website, www.sipsofcrime.com. There you can get to know a little about us and stay up to date with our monthly newsletter. We love connecting with our listeners and enjoy sharing your personal true crime, paranormal, or just downright funny stories. So submit those through the form provided on the website.
You can also help us grow our Freaky family by sharing the podcast with others. And of course, let's not forget rocking our merch.
Thanks for listening.
Stay alive.